ready to start our 1 o'clock presentation. My name is Sean Rado. I'm an English instructor in the department, and I've been asked today to get our 1 o'clock program going. Today, during this hour, we're going to have a chance to hear from Mr. Adam Martini, who is a survivor of the concept of the camps that happened back in the 1940s. Most of you from most of it have been here for a while today, so I think you know the background, so I won't go into too much more. But today he's going to talk about his experiences when he was 7 and what happened. He's going to talk for a little while, and then when he's done, he'll be happy to take questions. So give a nice warm hand to Mr.
Thank you. Before I start, I would like to thank the committee which made all this possible. And a special thanks to Ann Morrison and my family. They convinced me I should participate. Well, I'm Adam Martini, and I was born in Bukin in 1937. And I have my wife along, which is also a survivor. She was born in 1940 in Bačka Palanka. This is a nice area where it's called the Bačka, which is the Vojvodina. And I'm still a proud son of the Vojvodina. My roots in Bukin go back over 200 years. And I think our problem came with the Second World War. The Bačka is a beautiful area with a lot of Donauschwaben towns all over. Bačka had the dark soil, and it was once considered the breadbasket of Europe. This was our homeland at one time, and I'm still proud of it. But like I say, the dilemma came with the Second World War. Close to 45, I remember in October, mid of October, they gave words in our village of Bukin. They said, well, if you want to avoid the Russian front was coming through Yugoslavia, the Germans were retreating, and they said if you don't want to experience this, well, also there were the Tito's partisans were fighting around our areas, cutting the electric wires and killing people here and there, and had most of our people scared stiff. So they said if you want to avoid this, you saddle up a horse with a wagon and you head for Germany. After discussions, my family also decided, okay, we're doing this. So we fled mid-October. In 1944, we fled our town of Bukin, and we ended up in northeast Germany, which today is considered Poland. When we got there, the German army took our horse and our wagon, and says, well, they need it for the war effort. And since they're going to settle us there anyway, we wouldn't need it. So, but it wasn't long, and we could hear, the planes would come every day and bomb the heck out of I guess it was the Allied air forces. And the Russians were pushing in at a quick pace. And the Germans, all they could do is explode the bridges or to slow them down a little bit. Anyway, the word came again that says if you want to avoid the Russians coming through here and not being caught by them, you try to catch a train which goes west. Well, my family, we didn't want to get caught by the Russians. So again, we packed up. It was my mother, my little sister, my grandmother, and myself. And we headed for the rail station. Total chaos in that town. I remember that so well. But my mother was a survivor type, so she got us on the train. And we headed west. I don't know where we lived. We lived around here, there, and everywhere. But ultimately, we ended up in Austria, in Ried-im-Innkreis, Upper Austria. The whole area there was swamped with Donauschwaben. I mean, the poor native Austrians, they didn't like us, even so we were brothers to them, right? But we really almost choked that area to death. we sat out the war there. I think the war ended around in May of 45 or so. And after the war was over, my mother, of course, hoped that my father comes back. He was a German military guy, unharmed. Well, it didn't take long, and he came back, and he joined us. And about the same time, they were readying a train, a special train to go back home to our beloved land and towns. And this was like wildfire going through the communities there. You know, everybody, it was like a party mood. You know, I can remember I was just a young kid. But people were drinking and singing in 3 languages, because most of our men, they speak Slavic, Hungarian, and German. And they're very nice Slavic songs, and we knew them all. They knew them all. I didn't, but they knew them all. It was sort of a very happy time. And my father, he could not tell him not to go, because he was a master craftsman, and he had a shop in our town of Bukin, a woodworking shop, and we had some fields and some vineyards. And he says, what are we going to do here in Austria? And there was nothing to do there, and not much to eat either. So we were on that train with hundreds of others. Nobody else was allowed on the train except people going back. It was considered the first train going back to, like, Freedom Train or whatever they called it. They had the train decorated with slogans and with flowers. And it was definitely a happy moment. I even picked up on it as a kid. I didn't quite know what was going on at the time. Well, the train went through Graz and Marburg, Maribor, or whatever it's called, and it stopped at Zagreb, which is the capital of Croatia. There the train stopped. An official type guy came up on us and told us, leave everything in the train, come inside, we're going to feed you a little more, you get food, he says, and then we get new instructions, and in no time you're going to be back again, and we go down for different destinations. Well, most of our people, they're still in the party mood. They all went into this big hall, which is the rail station in Zagreb at the time. When we were in there, this is in the summer, hot. There was no air conditioning, you know. When we were in there, we could hear all the entrances and exits were getting locked up. That didn't look good. And then one of the main exits, they set up tables. There were guards there with guns. And then a booming voice came over the speaker system. I remember that as it was yesterday. In perfect German, loud, says, everybody filing through here in single fashion and deposit money, all the valuables, jewelry, rings, you name it, you know, the watches, everything has to be laid there, he says. And then you have to stop outside. He says, now for anybody who has idea to hide any of this or not doing it, he says, well, there will be consequences. He says, we're going to check these people outside, and God forbid if we find something on the person, he says, you're going to get shot. Well, that killed that dream of going home. Our people, I mean, it created chaos, you know. There was praying, lamenting, accusing, you know, just chaos. And I was afraid stiff myself, because we heard a shot every now and then. But to this day, we don't know if anybody got shot. But the effect it had on our group was terrible, because you don't know. Did they shoot somebody, or was it just, I mean, we just assumed people got shot. Well, that went on deep into the night. When you made it through there, we assembled in front of there was a plaza there with guards all around, you know, with guns. And they kept us there all night. I remember that. And then some of the guards would walk through and checked us out. They were looking for former German soldiers. And my father had some friends which they caught right away. And my father started to get totally nervous also, and he started to sneak around trying to avoid those guys.